Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Daisy DIY. Today I have a wonderful hacks. I hope you guys enjoy. If you do, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Thank you so much. So let's start with the first project. For the first project, I'm going to be using one seed pot that I got from Dollar Tree, and they come 12 in a pack. So I'm just going to need one for this project. So the first thing, I'm going to be painting it, and for that we're going to be using this beautiful paint on color white. It's Rust-Oleum paint on color white, and I'm not covering it all the way the seed pot because I want the color brown to show a little bit. You guys can paint it at the color of your preference, and we're going to put it to a side and let it dry really well. The next thing, I'm going to be using 5 clothespins that I got from Dollar Tree, and they're the one that they're small. They're super cute and adorable. So I'm just going to pull it apart, and I'm going to be using a little bit of the hot glue to glue it. But I'm thinking right now, if you guys want a permanent hold, I think it's way better to use wood glue or E6000. And once I glue all my clothespins together, I'm going to be using this apple barrel paint on color pumpkin, and I'm just going to do one coat. It covered really well this paint. I got it at Walmart, and I'm just going to be doing the same step with the other 4 clothespins, and we're going to put it to a side and let it dry really well. And once they're completely dry, I decided to distress it a little bit because they were too plain for me and I didn't like it. So I just grabbed a little bit of this Rust-Oleum paint and this brush, and I just go over and distress it a little bit. And once we're done and they were completely dry, I decided to put a little bit of the jute twine on the top. I just wrap it like 2 or 3 times, and with the remaining piece I just use my scissors to cut it, and I did the same step with the other 4. And also, to put on the top of that cute carrot, I decided to use this greenery that I got at Walmart. And I'm just using what I had on hand, but I'm pretty sure you guys can put any greenery and it will look so cute. So I decided to cut a little bit of the stem of the greenery so they can be kind of like flat, because I tried it before, with the little stem. It was not holding it because that little clothespin, they're really small. If you guys want, you guys can use X6000 for permanent hold. So here's the fun part. If you guys want to, you guys can use these letter stickers that you can find at Dollar Tree and put like fresh carrots. You guys can put anything, but I decided to grab a piece of cardboard, and with my Sharpie I just put carrot patch, and I just also use a little bit of this anti-wax so it can has a little more of color. And once it was completely dry, I went over and just kind of round the edges of the cardboard because I didn't like it, and I just gonna bend it a little bit so it can be like kind of like curved, so I can put it in the small pot. And I just use hot glue to glue it, but right now I'm thinking like I should be using like E6000 so it can hold way better. So the next thing, I'm going to be grabbing 2 thumbtacks that I got from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to place one on each side. And you guys can see on the other side, you can see the little poking parts, but you guys can put a little bit of the hot glue and fix that. I'm going to be using this green moss that I got at Dollar Tree, and I'm just gonna put a little bit, and under I just put kind of like paper towel because I didn't want to cover it all the way with moss. And I'm just gonna place my carrots on the top, and I use a little bit of the hot glue so they can have a permanent hold. They turn out really adorable. I love it so much, this cute carrots. And also I decided to give a little bit more detail to the small pot, so I just grab a piece of jute twine and I just wrap it around a few times. I think it was like 3 times that I wrap it around, and I just glue it really well. And you guys can see that I didn't show you really well on this part because obviously I didn't even notice that I was not putting it all the way in the camera. I'm so sorry for that, but you guys can see I just wrap it around a few times. And also I create just a simple bow and I'm gonna place it on the middle. It was missing something else, and that was the only thing that I did. And you guys can see right there, it's that little hand on my daughter in the video. So I'm so sorry for that. Right now, I create my project right here in the kitchen so she can be kind of entertaining doing some other things. And that's the reason why you can see my camera move so you can see the little hands in the videos, okay? So that's how it turns out, this beautiful project. It looks so cute, but let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about our first project? For the next DIY, we're gonna be using a piece of cardboard and I just draw with my pencil a ear bunnies and I just kind of eyeball it. You guys can make it so easy, this project. So once I cut it, I just grab the other one like a template so I can cut the two ear bunnies at the same side because I'm not good at like eyeballing each of the bunny ears, so I hope it makes sense. And once we cut it, I'm gonna be grabbing another small seed pot and I just gonna place the two ears on each side. And I was not sure how to place them, like I just decided to place like a straight the ears, you know. And to glue them, I just used a little bit of the hot glue, but I always mention if you guys want a permanent hold, you guys can use E6000 or even like the Gorilla Glue. I think it holds really well, you know. And once we were done, I just grabbed one of these pom-pom on color white. I got it from Dollar Tree and I just place it on that bottom part. And to put inside, you guys can put anything. I just had this beautiful greenery on hand and I just grabbed a few pieces and I create just a simple jute twine bow. I want to show you that with my lighter. I just want to give more detail to that little bow, and also to glue it I just use a little bit of glue, and you guys can place it on the top of the ears, but I decided to place it on the little beautiful tail and I just use a little bit of that glue to glue it. It turned out really adorable, this other project, and I decide also to distress it a little bit, so I just remove, you know, like the greenery because obviously I didn't like it. So I just used a little bit of the Waverly Antique Wax and it turned out way better. If you guys don't want to do this step, you guys can just skip it and I think it will look beautiful. And here's how it looks, our project. It turned out adorable, but let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this other project? For the next project, I'm going to be using a piece of this calendar that I had on hand, and I decided to use the small piece that they have on the back. I'm going to be using this cute bunny, so I just gonna cut it. At the beginning I was just thinking, you know, because on the back it had like this chip that looked really beautiful, and I was just gonna cut it and glue it on that small pot. I didn't like it, so what I did, I just cut the little bunny all the way to the greenery so it can look way better, that little bunny on the seed pot, and it turned out really way better. I love it. If you guys don't have like any calendars from Dollar Tree, I'm pretty sure you guys can go on Google and search for any beautiful Easter image, and I'm thinking that you guys can just print it and just cut the image and place it, on that small pot. And also I decided to use the Rust-Oleum paint on color white to paint it. I didn't want to show you again that step because I'm pretty sure you guys saw it at the first project that we did, how I painted. And once it was completely dry, I just used a little bit of that Mod Podge and put a little bit on the back of the image, and I just place it. And once it was completely dry, I decided to use a little bit of this Waverly Anti-Wax. It turned out way better once I did this. I have this wire garland that I got from Dollar Tree. I'm pretty sure it has a name, but I totally forgot. I'm so sorry for that. So I just grab a piece and I just kind of bend the wire and I just use my scissors to cut it. At the beginning, I was just gonna glue it and leave the little berries that they had on the top. I'm like, it will look perfect, but I didn't like it, so on the end I just pull it apart, and also I just glue it with a little bit of the hot glue, and I just reinforce it a little bit on the top so it can hold really well the handle that we put to this little basket. And I decided to distress it a little bit, the handle, because like I mentioned, I thought it was gonna be look perfect, but I didn't like it. So I decided to grab a piece of that jute twine and I went over and cover it really well. I just did like 2 or 3 times this step so it can be a little bit thick because I didn't like it really well, the handle. And I just put a little bit of the hot glue so it can hold it on place, the jute twine, and it turned out way better. I love it so much. And once we're done, I decide to grab 2 plastic eggs that I got from Dollar Tree, and it comes like in a garlic that I found at Dollar Tree. They come like a few pieces, and it was really budget friendly garland, for $1.25. So to paint it, I'm gonna be using a little bit of the Rust-Oleum, and I'm just gonna do one coat, and I'm just gonna put it to a side and let it dry. It was just perfect, like to use that paint on color white so it can go way better with my decor. And also to kind of did like the speckles that they have the eggs, I decided to use a little bit of that Waverly Anti-Wax, and I just let it dry really well, and I did the same step with the other one. And also I just grabbed a piece of fabric that I had on hand, and I just cut small pieces so I can place it on the side. And I was just trying to create like a messy bow, but I think it was just way better to tie the pieces on the side. It was way easy for me to do that step. And also when I finished doing that step, I just grab a little bit of that green moss, and I just gonna place them inside. And also I decide again to grab a piece of paper towel and put them inside, so I didn't use that much green moss inside. And also if you guys want to, you guys can use a little bit of the hot glue to glue it so it can hold it on place way better, the green moss inside. And I just grabbed the 2 eggs and place them inside. I didn't glue anything. If you guys want a permanent hold, you guys can glue it. It turned out super adorable, this other project. I love everything, but please let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about this other project? For my last project, I'm going to be using one wood palette that I got from Dollar Tree. And what I did, I just used the Rust-Oleum paint on color white paint it a little bit, and once it was completely dry, I just used a little bit of that Waverly Anti-Wax to distress it because for me it was just too plain, to be honest. And I just put it to a side so it can dry really well. The next thing, I just grab another seed pod and I decide to cut it on half. So I just grab my scissors and I decide to paint it a little bit with the apple barrel on color pumpkin. I just did one coat and I just put it to a side and let it dry really well. And once it was completely dry, I also decided to distress it a little bit with that Waverly Anti-Wax so it can has a little bit or more of that detail, the carrot. So I love it once I distress it, it turned out way better. And I'm just gonna put it to a side so it can dry really well. And once it was completely dry, I'm just gonna glue it to the top of that wood palette. And I'm thinking right now, like none of my projects, like I didn't use like X6000 or wood glue or Gorilla Glue, so it can has a permanent hold. So I think it's way better to use that. I just use hot glue. And I decide to give more detail on the top. I just grab this jute twine and I just gonna glue it on the top. If you guys want to, you guys can do it before we glue the zipa on the top. For me, it was just perfect, to put like a little bit of the jute twine. It holds really well. And I just wrap it around like 3 times. And also I create just another simple bow and I grab the same piece of fabric that I had on hand and I just create like a simple messy bow. I love it so much how it turns out, this messy bow. And I'm just gonna glue it on the top. You guys can just put the messy bow like on the side or on the bottom, but I decided to place it on the middle and I just gonna use a little bit of the hot glue to glue it. Here's the part where I show you that how I create the messy bow. I just grab a few pieces of the fabric and I just tie everything really well and I just kind of went over and give the shape of the messy bow. You guys can put like any fabric or any ribbons that you guys want to, but I just went simple with this fabric that I had on hand and I just place it here in the middle with a little bit of the hot glue. And also I grabbed this sand sponge that I got from Dollar Tree and I just went over and distressed it a little bit the wood palette because I didn't like it really well, that it didn't show the wood under, so I just kind of did that step so it can shows way better and I love it so much. And I grabbed a few pieces of the greenery and place it inside. I just grabbed the greenery that I had on hand. I love it so much, this other project, how it turns out. But please let me know in the comments down below, with all the projects that I create for you guys today, which one it was your favorite. So that was it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to be notified every time that I upload new video. And please don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thank you so much and have an amazing day.